Hello friends, my name is Dr. Jyoti Prakash. I am assistant professor in the Department of Management, School of Management Sciences, Lucknow. Now, in this video lecture, we will have a discussion on current trends in consultancy industry. So, without a delay, just start the class. In this particular slide, I have just give the justification and the growth factor or the growth ratio of consultancy industry. Like India has been globally recognized for its fast paced development. The service sector has been growing at a fast pace and now contributes more than 50% of the GDP. In recent years, the demand of specialist consulting services is being immensely sought by customer in India, which was eventually opened for opportunity for a large number of consultants to help businesses with expert knowledge base and resources. Because now customer requires or customer demands some specific sort of knowledgeable person and some expert people in order to resolve the issues and in order to take some financial decision, in order to take any type of decision. Basically they seek some help from the consultant available in the market. So, obviously there is a scope of opportunity for the consultant that they just use their knowledge base and the resources in order to fulfill the requirement of the customers and also fulfill the objective of them that they are carrying. Means obviously, if some expert are there and some expert is working in a consultancy firm, obviously with a motive to earn money or to get some remuneration for their knowledge or the resources that he or she has. So, obviously it gives an opportunity or a factor of scope or factor of grabbing basically of this particular requirement or of the customers, just grab it and use it and obviously fulfill the requirement or fulfill the objective of yours that you are carrying. And due to constantly increasing demand of the customers, because nowadays customers are demanding some customized services or the customized support or the assistance or the advices of some expert person related to that area. So, due to this factor, this particular industry is estimated to grow at a compounded annual growth rate of 30% to become a rupees 27,000 crore rupees by 2020, as per the report of the ASSOCHAM, means the Associated Chamber of Commerce and Industry of India. There are some few facts about Indian consulting industry. Means largest concentration of consultancy organization is in India. In basically focuses on 4 metropolitan cities, and what are they? They are Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Calcutta, and the ratio that they are using in order to consult different experts, like Delhi uses 25%, 25.7% and having the highest number of consultancy organization among all the different metropolitan cities. And second number is obviously of Mumbai, that represents 25.5%, in Chennai 12.1% and in Calcutta 9.1%. So, these are basically the sum of the few facts. Means in Delhi there are the largest number or the highest number of consulting or consultancy firms are available, or customer can get access or the customer can get required information or the required help from them. In Mumbai, in second number is Mumbai, and then next followed by Chennai and then Calcutta. Speciality that attributed or that contributed a lot for making the Indian consultancy firm more stronger. What are they? They well spread, dispersed and wide ranging areas of specialization to service diverse range of clientele need. Obviously, there are so many expert and there are so much expertise are available in India. So, they can accordingly resolve the individual need of the customer, means whatever the customer require, customize as per their requirement. This consultancy firm can provide assistance to them. Advanced technical talent skills at reasonable cost. In India, obviously all things all experts, even either he or she is technically, software wise, or professionally, or in financially, if they are strong, they are basically available at a reasonable cost. And why it is so? Because Indians are very much sensitive about the pocket, means they do not want to lose their pocket more in taking advices or in availing the services of any service firm. So, these basically experts provide their assistance or provide their advices at a reasonable cost basically. And these experts basically are very much familiar with the local conditions, means they provide the assistance to the customers by taking consideration the conditions prevailing locally or prevailing in that particular area. So, obviously, these are some of the strongest point or some of the strong point which somehow contributed a lot for the growth of or behind the growth of Indian consultancy firm. In every class of basically these type of industry, I have explained that being a service student or being a specialized student of marketing, you must know the different element of the industry that you are dealing in. So, in this particular class, because I am now focusing or I am giving content of consultancy industry. So, you just understand and you just have an idea about the 7 P's of consultancy industry. Like the first one is product. Product is all about the services given as per the requirement of the customer, means if the customer is having the requirement for resolving the queries of IT, if they want to consult some financial, they want to consult for resolving or for having a discussion of some financial issues. So, whatever the services they are purchasing basically that is a product aspect under consultancy industry. And price is all about based on the client requirements, the projects and the scale of operation, means if the scale of operation is complex or huge basically. So, the client or the customer has to pay more amount, and if a project is basically big or requires or the project will be conducted for a longer time period. So, obviously, the customer has to pay more amount for that, and price is totally obviously determined as per the changing requirement or as per the requirement of different clients, means obviously every client will have a different problem, will have a different issue or different expectations. So, as per the different requirement of different clients, accordingly the pricing will be charged from them by the consultancy firm in context of price. The next one element is place. In fact, place is all about the distribution channel or basically that physical existence or that physicality where a customer can go, or that office setup or that office establishment. So, there are offices spread all across the India where a customer can go and contact to some expert for resolving the issues. The next is promotion. Under promotion, these consulting or consultancy firms basically uses the promotional tool like advertising, public relation, and they use social media. Advertising is all about a paid form of personal presentation of product and services by an identified sponsor, and for advertising, firms basically uses either print media, electronic media and outdoor media for promoting the services or for promoting the services that they are dealing in. Public relation is all about why a customer will come to you. So, this question will be answered by your practices in fact, and for that you have to maintain or you have to adopt such sort of practices which somehow resultant in maintaining relationship with the public. And what is the meaning of public? What can be the meaning of the public? Basically, public are of two types. The first one is internal and second one is external. If we see or if we talk internal public, means your employees, means being a service firm, because these employees will play very crucial role in representing your firm, in representing your existence and in your delivering your services. So, somehow you have to maintain a good relationship with your internal employees or internal customer. For that you have to adopt, being a service firm or being a consulting firm, you have to maintain or adopt a good human resource practices among the employees of your firm, so that they just have a feel about the about association or acknowledgement or just affection. And if they are having such sort of feeling, obviously they will contribute a lot, or they will obviously give or contribute to 100% productivity in fulfilling the promises that you have made to your customer. It is all about internal public, and now next is external public. Means external public includes the customer, your competitors, your financial institutions. So, from time to time you have to conduct a certain sort of event or certain practices in order to maintain relationship with your external ones, so that they just contributed a lot in fulfilling the objective of yours being a firm. Means obviously, if you have maintained a good relationship with your customer, you have fulfilled their expectation, you have matched up the expectation of the customers, they will be happy and they will be associated, they want to be associated with you for a longer time period. Obviously, they will spread a positive word of mouth to other person. So, if a customer is happy, he or she will help you out in fulfilling the objective of yours that you are basically carrying. So, public relation is one of the important element of promotion that is widely used by the consulting firm or consultancy firm for fulfilling the objective or for meeting out the requirement of the customer. The next one is social media. Social media is all about one type of media which connects different people at a platform in a very socially manner. Means they all can share their views and suggestion and their point of view on a digital platform, and accordingly they become knowledgeable about a offering or about a thing that a company is making available to them. So, these all things come under promotion. The next is people. People, because consultancy firm is totally based on the expertise of the person, expertise of the employee that they have hired for that. So, obviously, people under people, the skilled people or the skilled person as per the requirement. Means if a consulting firm is providing financial assistance to their clients, so obviously they will hire some financial analyst, and financial analyst is what that person should have a certain sort of qualification and skills and knowledge related to finance and financial industry. So, obviously, people under people, skilled person as per the requirement of the customer. The next is process. The next element of service marketing mix is process. Process for services is very easy and customer can avail it very easily, because the customer support number and the different offices available across the India. So, if you want to avail, if you want to take advice from some expert, you can dial the number and you can go to that office establishment or setup, and from there you can resolve your queries and fulfill the purchase of your service. The next is physical evidence. Physical evidence supports or fulfill the shortfall of the characteristic of service, that is intangibility. So, physical evidence is all about having like in-house facilities with up-to-date infrastructure and global environment in all its offices. As in place, we have seen that place simply means the office establishment across the India or across the world. So, in that place or in that office establishment, you have to give a picture about the type of services that you are offering to the customer. So, for that purpose, you have to establish some sort, or you have to introduce some sort of infrastructure and environment in your office, so that when a customer comes to your organization or comes to your office, by seeing that evidences or by seeing the infrastructure and the environment you have introduces in your firm, he or she will get an idea that this service firm is offering which type of services to us basically. And the complete setup helps the employees to experience the best work environment, so that they perform as per the organization expectation. If we talk about physical evidence, means the infrastructure and the climate or the environment the environment of the overall office, so that should be framed out or that should be introduced in such a manner, so that your employees, because your overall work is based on the employees expertise. So, you should introduce these type of factor in your organization in such a way, so that an employee just feel free or just feel happy while working or while associating with your firm. And obviously, if an employee is happy, what can be the positive benefit we all know, means obviously whatever the roles and responsibility that have been assigned to that employee, they will just want to do it beyond the boundary or beyond the level of efforts or the level of the fixed duties and responsibilities. So, these things come under basically physical evidence. Now, the next discussion is based on current trends in consultancy industry. So, just have a look or have a discussion on the current trends, like the future is digital. We all are seeing one important element is added, like artificial intelligence, means in the 5G network and the updated technology or the digitalization. So, somehow it is also one of the important or the current trend found in consultancy industry too. So, the future is digital simply means the consulting businesses because based on consultant who visit client sites to understand their processes before beginning their collaboration. However, going forward, on-site consulting is expected to be an antidote to crisis situation only, because some of the time that like in this situation, in COVID situation, people basically avoid physical touch and physical contact. So, online consulting firm are there which somehow fulfills this particular shortfall, and they just prove antidote to this crisis, and they can handle this particular crisis situation very well. Consultant will redefine work from remote location because of this digitalization, because of the contribution of digitalization, and gain more transaction from end clients, because they it is not required that they have to interact physically from time to time, because in virtual mode they can interact to each other anytime, and accordingly their problem can be resolved by having an interaction or having a discussion between these two parties. Virtual platform will be leveraged to manage consulting cases and coordinate with teams scattered, means whatever and how many the number or the extent of the team or the different number of team involving in resolving the case of a particular client, they all can interact on a virtual mode at the same time, and without any hassle or without any delay, the timely demand or the timely requirement of the client or the customer can be met out in fact. And this will also provide an impetus to alternative avenues of resourcing, leading to higher demand for specialized and skilled resources. Means if everything is based on digital or the virtual mode, so that also gives an value added advantage or add extra advantage to these service firms, that they can provide unlimited number of resources or huge level of or high level of services to their clientele. The second trend is bespoke solution, means role of expert and SME tool. Obviously, this particular industry is totally based on expert people or the experienced or the key skilled person related to a particular area. So, firms are increasingly looking for consultancies that can provide fully customized solution formulated by first gaining deep insight into their businesses, because the people are expert, means if a person is coming to take advices regarding or related to finance, that the representative of that firm is expert enough or having an understanding about each and every issues of the customer, and they can accordingly convince them in order to purchase or in order to invest their money in certain sort of investment avenues. This particular practice will also promote the role of subject matter expert in strategy articulation. Means if a person is expert in a particular field, means suppose a tax consultant or a tax advisor, because that person is very expert in that particular field. So, accordingly this consulting firm or consultancy firm can take advices from that person, because he or she is having expertise or have is basically expert in that particular area or in that area. So, that will also help or that will also make the overall procedure very easy, or they can conduct or they can provide the services in a very smoother way. Consultancy will need a robust resource pool with expertise in various sectors. Obviously, consulting firm basically are having different types of resources, expert resources associated with them, so that accordingly whatever the requirement of the client or whatever the requirement of the customer, accordingly problem can be solved out, because of the availability of different types of expert people with you. And tapping third party research capability will be beneficial, as it will yield on demand solution at low cost, because customer is going to contact a third party, and for the by contacting that they will have to pay less price, because third party is one of the business player which provide the assistant at low cost. So, a customer can go there too. The next one is strategy moving in house, lean consultant team and technology to tap this market. How it has happened? The growth of strategy as a function has seen corporates to build their own internal strategy, because they are having the pool of expert people and the pool of expertise, and accordingly they can solicit the advices, they can take the advices of them, and accordingly just formulate different strategy in order to fetch profit or in order to make customer happy or satisfied. Some of the large firm have already incubated that data driven technology solution promoting asset based consulting model, and are said to benefit from being the first of the blocks. Simply means all consultancy firm is totally somehow, some of the operation is totally based on technology, and how the technology can contribute by having a huge database about that particular firm. So, whatever the requirement of the customer, they can accordingly solve it out. Next is clients ROI. ROI simply means return on investment, means sustained margin. A client remains, means obviously a customer want to avail any type of service, but they do not want to lose their pocket. So, clients remain price savvy about consulting services. Freelancers as well as boutique firms. Boutique firms are those firms who basically provide some or we can say that some separate or some one or two type of facilities. They do not provide the complete services of consultancy to the firm. They are dealing in basically one or two aspect of that particular service. So, freelancer and as well as boutique firms do not have much frill added to their services, and hence able to quote a much lower price compared to a global consulting major. Obviously, as I said earlier that these two freelancers are the person who basically freely or casually go to contact to some individual one, and accordingly their problem can be resolved. Means they are not able to, and boutique firms are also in the same boat or in the same race or in the same condition. Means these two are basically do not provide the complete service of consultancy to the customers. So, obviously they can charge lower prices, or as a customer you can contact to these two firms, because you are also thinking about the return on investment. Means whatever the prices you are paying, whatever the cost you are giving to the firm, what return you are getting from that. So, for that purpose or for attainment of that particular thing means ROI, you just sometimes customer get interacted or get contacted to these freelancers or these boutique firms. They will likely implemented cost effective solution over expensive, means obviously they do not want to spend too much money in getting advices or getting the services of consultancy firm. So, this particular thing will also means freelancing and services of boutique firms help them in saving their money or in fulfilling the requirement whatever they have. The technology sector driven demand, obviously this particular sector is totally based on technology. So, in order to provide ease to the customers, this particular sector or these particular firms basically provide all the offerings with the use of the updated technology. So, the customer can find ease in assessing or in resolving the problem or in fulfilling the expectation of whatever they are carrying. Consultancy firm with technology practices or tie up with technological partners that will also help them out in proper or optimum utilizing the technology, usage of technology, and for providing an ease factor to the customer. Data driven market, obviously end clients may seek consulting advices to focus on core or non-core activities, whatever the requirement the customer have, they just want to seek advices from that. This will keep consulting firm engaged with mandate to advise firm on restructuring and divestment. And additionally, business sector that plan to re-engineer themselves to adapt to a altered market situation will require change management and support for strategy, cultural and operational development, along with upscaling employees to revise business opportunity. Means because you have a big database, so time to time you just go through, you just supervise the available data, and accordingly by having a check or by monitoring the data, you can being a service firm or being a consulting firm, you can adopt different strategy and practices for the operationalize your activity for fulfilling the requirement of the customer and for fulfilling the objective of the firm that the firm is carrying. So, I hope you are very much able to understand the current trends that are using by the consulting firm, that is the future is digital. Bespoke solution means the role of expert, and SME means subject related experts. Obviously, consulting firm are totally based on the expertise or the advisors of the expert people. So, this is one of the trend. And strategy moving in house, because you are having a large pool of expert people. So, accordingly you can take different strategy, you can also take care of the client ROI. So, there are some other types of persons or business firms are available who take care of this particular aspect of the customer. Means there are some freelancers or boutique firms who provide the facilities of services of consultancy, and accordingly they are also taking care of the ROIs of the customer. And technology sector demand, you have to keep a pace with the technology and accordingly adopt different strategy. Data driven market, because you have a complete or the big data. So, or you time to time you just go through or you just evaluate or you just keep an eye about the availability of the data, and accordingly you have to adopt different strategy, so that you can keep a pace with the changing scenario of the market and fulfill the requirement of the customer. So, these are basically some of the references that I have mentioned. If you want to get more information, just go through that, and that is all in this particular topic, and I hope you will like this lecture. Thank you, students.